of this media briefing to be. I'm aware that there has been a lot of hunger out there to ask me questions that have got nothing to do with the performance of the courts. And I got a sense that some thought that I was somehow running away from having questions put to me. And I realized that people really don't understand me. I'm not the sort that runs away from his responsibilities. I'm not the sort that runs away from confronting issues that needs to be confronted. I believe with all of my heart that everybody, particularly leaders, must own up to their utterances, must own up to their actions, must assume full responsibility for everything they say. It is irresponsible of any leader to shy away from dealing with issues flowing out of what he or she has said. So I'm upfront in saying I'm here to present myself for questioning on anything. Even if your questions would be about everything except the Judicial Accountability Report, I am here to tackle those questions as frontally as circumstances demand that I do. Turning to the Judicial Accountability Report, I'll be brief because the foreword to the annual report is structured in such a way as to be a combination of both what a foreword is ordinarily supposed to entail, as well as the speech that I would ordinarily have delivered during the meeting convened for the purpose of presenting the Judicial Accountability Report. So it's comprehensive enough for anybody who wants to know what my thoughts are as the leader of the judiciary to understand where I stand. But just a brief synopsis. You would recall that in response to or as a reaction to questions that sometimes flow from how our report is compiled, we have deemed it necessary just to give the public a sense of what informs our ability and inability to meet the targets that we set for ourselves. And as I indicated in the past, our targets are nothing more but an aspirational goal. Ideally, our target should be 100%, but there are so many circumstances contesting for our ability to discharge our mandate as admirably as we would want to, as a result of which we're not always able to meet the target that we have set for ourselves. What I also want to say is this. I have indicated how different courts perform and what informs that. I've touched on programs that we've set ourselves to implement that we have not been able to implement. I've touched on the significance of the informatization program that we have for years been talking about. Unfortunately, funding has not made it possible for us to implement it as fully as we should have, which, by the way, would have come in handy had it been implemented timelessly during the lockdown period. So there's a wide range of issues there that I have covered, which I believe you're quite familiar with. You would recall that last year we touched on the tools that we were developing for the magistracy, so that going forward we factor the magistracy in the annual report, the performance of the magistrates court. Something is there about the performance of the magistrates court. It's early days for the broader judiciary. Our aim is to be able to provide a much broader accountability report than we've been able to. But what we have seen, the best practices that we have noted from other jurisdictions, have informed us that what makes this possible is a fully digitized court system, because that system is able to take much more than a document like this can. And more importantly, when you report in this manner, it's more about the fundamentals. It's not about each and everything. You can't be reporting on how each magistrate, how each judge performs. You'll have a book so voluminous that people would just be intimidated from reading it upon sight of it. So in a nutshell, that's where we are. We're grateful that we are here. We are here to account. We're satisfied with the progress that we were able to make under extremely challenging circumstances. And I will end it here because, as I said, I've got a sense that there are more questions in the offing for me than about other things than about the accountability report, and I'm here for that. Over to you, Mr. Mude.
Thank you, Chief Justice, for that opening remark and the briefing. Colleagues, you have the opportunity to ask questions. And also the colleagues who are joining us online, you just raise your hand, and when I call your name, then you'll be able to speak. If I don't know your name, I'll just point you out. We start with you, sir, and you, madam, and I think for now, those will be the two questions.
Well, CJ, I want to ask, yesterday, right here at this hospital, you delivered the keynote address there, and then at the end you closed with that prayer. Some of us tweeted that prayer, and there's been quite a lot of backlash as far as the contents thereof. Among the things that were raised was the fact that there is some politicking that is taking place within that prayer of yours.
It's an important story, but we're going to dip out of that.